Shalom, Brother Arah, coming to you with another video. Want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. All right, and double honors to the apostles, bishops, elders, great millstone, for teaching us the 100% truth according to the Bible, and who rule well. Shalom to all you Akim and you Aqua, those are the hopeful elect that are seeking for salvation. And I want to go into the topic of the entrance to the kingdom is narrow. And what inspired me to do this lesson just by observation, just seeing how, brothers is tired, man. Brothers are exhausted from, being beat down in this world, from working a lot, dealing with ailments, sicknesses. But nevertheless, the Lord is keeping on our spirit to keep fighting, right? We're taking these jabs, these hooks, uppercuts, and we're getting back up and we're fighting back, man. And this is a part of the process to the kingdom, right? A path of difficulty. We're going to be catching hell on every side, okay? But nevertheless, the Lord is going to equip us with enough strength to keep fighting this fight, man. Now, when you read 2nd Ezra, the 7th chapter, it says, verse 1, and when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me the angel which had been sent unto me the nights afore. All right. The angel that came to Ezra the nights before came back to him to reveal more things. It says, verse 2, and he said unto me, up, Ezra, and hear the words that I am come to tell thee. Verse 3 says, and I said, speak on, my power. Then said he unto me, the sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. The sea is likened unto the kingdom of heaven. Verse 4 says, but put the case, the entrance were narrow and like a river. But in order for you to get to this beautiful sea, you had to travel through a very narrow passage, all right? You had to go through the passageway of a very narrow river in order to get to this city, right? Verse 5 says, who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad, right? So how can you actually enjoy this sea if you don't actually travel through this narrow, this narrow path? That's likened to the kingdom, right? The Lord's not going to just hand us the keys to the kingdom. We're going to definitely go through some sufferings. And in ancient times, kings were definitely earned their position. A king, for example, King David. The Lord already had ordained King David to be the next king during this time. And he was well respected because, he was the one that was brave enough through the Spirit. He had faith in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai to go up against Goliath. So anytime in ancient times when a king ruled, he had earned that position, and he was most likely a warrior prior to him being a king. So he had went through some shit. That's just like what we're going through. We're going through our battles and fighting this greatest war, man. Right? Through the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and faith and trust in the Lord. Before he gives us the keys to the kingdom, Lord willing, we're part of that elect number. But verse 4 says, but put the entrance, Salakia, but put the case, the entrance were narrow and like a river. Verse 5, who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? Verse 6, there is also another thing. A city is builded and is set upon a broad field and is full of all good things. This beautiful city that was perfectly built, set upon a broad field, full of good things. But check this out. This city is likened to the kingdom of heaven. But check this out, verse 7. the narrow, Slakia, the entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water. So in order to get this beautiful city that's perfectly built, how can you get to this city without you going through this dangerous path, fire on right hand side, and you got deep water on the left? Verse 8, and one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. And by the way, this path, only one man can travel this path alone, meaning that you can't ride the coattails of another brother into the kingdom. You know how, like, back in the day, during the time of school, when we had group projects, and you always got that slacker in the group who didn't do shit. And then when it was time for the group to present, they acting like they helped out and they end up getting a good grade even though they didn't do anything. That's not going to be the case for our paths to the kingdom. We all have to travel and be held accountable for our own walk, right? We all got to walk our own walk to the kingdom, in this path of difficulty. Verse 9 says, if this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? Okay, so this inheritance is going to be given to those, all right, who, speaking of the first fruits of the kingdom, all right, those who travel this straight gate, all right, this path of difficulty. And what does that mean? It's going to mean hardships. It's going to be more pain and suffering, being ostracized from the world, all right, particularly family members, those that you have been accustomed to hanging with, prior to us coming to the truth, all right. The conversation is different once you cross over, man. The way you think about things and the way you, what we're involved in, it doesn't mix with the world. So we become separate from the world. We get exhausted by the conduct of these people, the witchcraft and the sorcery constantly being pumped on us, right? So it gets annoying. As the scriptures say, Lot was vexed with the filthy conversation, with the way these people were acting, their conduct, what they were into. St. Matthew 7:13 says, enter ye in at the straight gate, all right? That word straight means a path of difficulty. It says, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. Majority of our people, all right, of the world, they don't want to change, all right? They want to continue to feed their flesh, all right? Live carnality. They don't want to stop celebrating Christmas. They don't want to stop eating pork. They want to keep going to the Christian harlot house. Jake just be going to these Christian churches to be getting with these chicks, because you don't learn shit in these Christian churches, man. Right? It's like a club. It's a hangout spot. Okay, but that's a part of that broad way, the worldly way. Doing the things of the world. But as it says, that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. And that's filled with majority of our people, 2/3. All right. It says, verse 14, because straight is the gate, all right, that path of difficulty that, let's face it, majority of the world don't want to go through what we're going through. Because if they had a choice, they wouldn't. But the Wadi Shai, the we get to suffer for righteousness' sake, while they sacrifice and put all their eggs in a basket with things that are meaningless, vainful. Okay, it says, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life. Okay, but the world doesn't see it, and it takes faith to see it, which is a gift from Yahweh by Shem Shai. It says, and few there be that find it. Okay? So this path of difficulty is well worth it. Beyond our imaginations, we shouldn't even compare because it's uncomparable. As you read Romans 8:18, it says, "For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us." So all this shit that you're going through, you may have lost your woman, right? Can't get a job, money's kind of low right now, or you're being overworked. You're constantly being irritated by, the shit that's being pushed out, in this world. And eventually we're all going to have to go through some great persecutions where the world's going to, all point their finger at us and come after us, right? So even then, it's not worthy to be compared for what the Lord is getting ready to give us, man. We just got to endure. Now, Apostle Paul told the disciples, which we know Apostle Paul went through a lot of hell. He was stoned, right? He was also bitten by a serpent. He had hitters after him, right? Men that was trying to delete him. Okay. Many things that Apostle Paul went through, man. So he says this here, Acts 14:22, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. I'm going to read that in NLT. Where they strengthen the believers, they encourage them to continue in the faith, reminding them that we must, meaning must is required. It says we must suffer many hardships to enter the kingdom of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. It's designed that way. The Lord made it that way. So embrace the struggles and sufferings. We are praying that the Lord, and I'm praying for all you Akim and you Aqua, we're praying that we endure these things because it's going to come. Us are getting our own dose of sufferings, man. But the entrance to the kingdom is going to be narrow, but it's possible. And all things are possible. Matter of fact, let me close out on that. This is a Christian's favorite, and they don't even realize what this really means. Philippians 4:13, it says, I can do all things through Hamashiach, Yahushai, which strengthened me. Okay? So through Yahweh by Hashem, Yahushai, we can overcome any type of hardship that we got to undergo. Okay? So Lord willing, you edified. All praises to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahushai.